All right, everybody. I just wanted to report to you all. Let me move this camera here a little bit. I did just want to report to you all that, and I'm sure that all of you have heard the news. Unfortunately, I have to report it as a podcaster and someone who promised you news. Really sad news. Whew. I know that everyone's been posting about it. A lot of other shows, progressive shows, even Republican shows have posted about it. But I just wanted to take some time, just to kind of talk about it, with other people and how I would present it and all of that. And so unfortunately, I have to report that the notorious RBG, the rock star, Associate Justice Ruth Bader Ginsberg, has passed away at the age of 87. She had a terminal illness. It was just there was not enough strength in her anymore to keep going. And before I go on in this video, I just want to send my huge condolences to the family, and the friends of RBG. I know that Ruth Bader Ginsberg, to us, is just a rock star and all of this and that, which I'm going to get into, but her family is of course more important. She was a great justice. I didn't agree with every single one of her rulings. She was a little bit more centrist in her approach. I am more leftist, as those of you who have watched my videos before understand and know that I'm from a more leftist, Bernie Sanders, progressive type of view, point of view, and I'm not afraid to show it, right? But regardless, she was quite an amazing woman. She was just someone that lots of young women, back in her time and even now can look up to, as someone who endured so much and did so much and achieved so much in her life. She endured sexism, and I just want to go over her life story a little bit. She was basically back in her day, the early days, if a woman said, "Oh, boss, sir, I'm pregnant," the bosses would either dock your pay, demote you, or whatever, deny you opportunities, or they would just fire you. But well, I don't want to have to give you benefits and your child benefits, and I gotta get you maternity leave if it even existed back then. I don't want to deal with you, so they would fire you. And so they docked her pay, and then her civil service status was actually revoked and demoted. And then when she was working as a professor, she actually hid her second pregnancy to the best of her ability for as long as possible, so that they wouldn't fire her or dock her pay or anything like that. When her husband was diagnosed with cancer, and I mean, you can't really do too much when you have that, she took on quite a bit. She can tell you, she could have told you herself, and she did. She basically took on his classwork, would organize his friends to take notes for him, and then type the notes, and then read the notes for him, and then help him study and read the cases for the next day that she had to do. And she said she'd get only 2 hours of sleep. And this is while she's at Harvard. I mean, Harvard ain't an easy school to be in. It's not. And she did that. She was in Harvard doing that. I mean, I complain about, man, I got to do my podcast, and I got to teach clients, and I got to do school. Dude, I mean, come on. That is, that's minimal to what she had to do. When she stood up for women's rights. And I'm going to get into that. But when she married her husband, it was an equal marriage. In fact, they're always going to bring this up. You'll see this in the news. She was a god-awful cook, apparently. In fact, her husband forbade her from going into, the kitchen unless she needed something, because she just could not cook, and he was a great cook apparently. So, there you go. And each of their careers mattered. It wasn't about him, and she had to be the housewife. It was whoever wanted to do the parent thing, then they would do the parent thing. Whoever wanted to, you know, whoever wanted to up their career, up their status, whatever it was, each of them was there for each other. And that is something that is quite enormous. You know, for when they got married in 1956, just about, I guess, marriages were not like that. It was always the man does the work, woman stays home, cleans, cooks, helps kids with homework, gets kids ready for school, is there for her man when he gets home and has the dinner ready for him. And with this, it was backwards. You know, he'd have dinner ready. And, you know, when his career took off, great, she was there. And when her career took off, he was there. So that was like a sign of equality. And then when Sweden, in those days, was coming up with feminism, it was coming up in Sweden. She went over there to help out and represent. And then she brought those skills back over here and started representing people. And there's a famous case of a man from New Jersey who his wife had died. He became a widower. He had a 2 or 3-year-old child. He wanted to stay home and take care of him, but the workplace said, no, you're a man, you have to work. And so Ruth Bader Ginsberg represented him and said, we can't be defining parenting as a woman's work. Because if you want to be a parent, whether you are a man or a woman, if you want to be a parent, go ahead and do it. It doesn't matter if a man does it, doesn't matter if a woman does it, whoever does it, who cares? It doesn't matter, right? That's what she argued. She argued that. Let me move this. She literally argued that it's not about a woman's work. It's about a woman's worth. It's not about men type of work. It's about everybody's work. It's about you and me are equal. It wasn't about black or white. It wasn't about Jewish or Muslim. It wasn't about anything. It was you and me. We're equal. Let's make it that way. And that is awesome. I love that. And she was in Harvard, as I said. I know I'm going all over the place, but, you know, I just have to. And you had to be like in the top in those days, you had in the 50s, you had to be in like the top 25 of your class to ever make the Harvard Law Review. Guess what? She made it. By the way, she was only one of 9 women in her class. Think about that. You have 500, 560 plus whatever, and only 9 of them are women, and she was number 1. Badass. I'm sorry to use horrible language, but badass. I mean, you have to admit, I mean, that is so awesome. Notorious RBG. I mean, the fact that she was literally in the law review and she just literally was like, yeah, I'm going to be number 1. Now, she was passed over for a Supreme Court clerkship 3 times. Because she was a woman. Not because, she wasn't qualified. Not because she didn't know what she was doing. Not because she didn't know the law. Not because, she didn't go to school. Not because she didn't do what she had to. But because she was a woman. That's all that had to be done. It was, she's a woman, we'll pass her over. And then Carter nominates her in, appoints her to the bench in 1980. Well, not to the bench. She wasn't there since 1980. That would have been awesome. But to the federal bench. And then President Clinton, baby, I'm President Clinton. I want Ruth Bader Ginsberg in the Supreme Court. I gotta tell you, that's him. He nominates her for the Supreme Court, appoints her in 1993, and she stayed there until now 2020. That is what 2003, 2013, 27 years on the court, 27 years, and you know, she stood up for Muslims when Trump did the whole Muslim ban as a Jewish woman. She stood up for everybody's rights, LGBTQ rights, for abortion rights, for just about everybody, everything else. She really just did everything she could to make sure everybody was equal, and she became a rock star in 2013. A rock star when the Republican majority, remember, Republican majority, struck down major provisions of the Civil Rights Act. And she said, yeah, this is not about black or white, but the fact that we have to now suffer because a bunch of people said, hey, we shouldn't be equal, and the Civil Rights Act doesn't apply today, that's taking us backwards. And that really set off a firestorm. I mean, everybody loved her. They created her, the Notorious RBG name for her. They created a rap. Now she loved opera, which I love opera. Andrea Bocelli, Sarah Brightman, Laura Pausini, Luciano Pavarotti, just a whole bunch of, Josh Groban's great, but, the three tenors, just all of them. And so she loved that, and she loved going to operas. Her best friend was, and she described him as a best buddy, they were best buddies, was Antonin Scalia, who came up in 1986. Ronald Reagan. Yeah. He nominated her he nominated him, and appointed him, and he was there from, oddly enough, how eerie, 1986 to 2016. Crazy. 96, 2006, 2016, 30 years in the court. And he passed away, unfortunately. She gave a moving eulogy. So she was able to be friends with a conservative. Far right, over here. To the wall, She was further left than him. They agreed on certain issues, but they were able to just be friends and best buddies. Disagree on the bench and go out to baseball games, wherever it was that they went, and just be friends out of the court. And that is super cool. And one thing about Scalia was that he was the first one to use an iPad to do his paperwork and all of that, which was super cool. So I'm saddened. And I'm very, very sad, not just because Republicans might just put another person on the court and make it a 63 majority Republican, but just to lose someone so iconic, so massive in women's rights, so kind and such a powerhouse as Ruth Bader Ginsberg. Honestly, it's such a tragedy for everyone in the country, for her family. I wish them nothing but the best, and our condolences go out to her family. And I will get into the hypocrisy of the Republicans soon, but I just wanted to kind of come to you guys and just give you the news. I know you all know it already, so I'm not even going to assume you don't. But again, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsberg, RBG, passed away 2 days ago on Friday at the age of 87. And wow, 6 weeks before an election. I'm scared, but oof, our hearts are heavy. 2020 just couldn't get any worse. But I'm sorry this is a long video. I just wanted to make a video about the amazing woman that she was. She was such a kind soul. She was just, one last thing. She did 20 push-ups every single day. The way she described it as, I do 10, breathe, do 10 more, and then she does a 30-second plank. I mean, look at this. I'm fluffy, and I couldn't do that, so I can't. So badass. She's just as great as ever. But it's a sad day in the United States.